From Nairobi, Kenya, you're listening to the Kuza Podcast, brought to you by kuza.com.
Karibuni sana kwa Kuza Podcast. Thank you so much for tracking together with us. As usual, tunaleta conversation moto sana. For those of us who don't understand Swahili, we bring hot conversations. Yeah, hot like hats. The Americans say hats. We need to break down at least and understand the relationship between O and A. Hot, hats, God. Now, and that's the problem that comes when people sometimes read the Bible. And we want to break down a few things today on account of the Bible. I don't know how many of us are involved in church Bible studies, all right? If you're there and you're involved in leading small group Bible studies, or you're handling probably some teenagers somewhere, some college students, some young professionals, a cell group, and all those things. And sometimes there could be very interesting, awkward moments when you're leading a Bible study. Now, most people lead a Bible study, but they end up talking for 1 hour, and then they allow people to contribute for like 10 minutes. That is not a Bible study. That's a sermon, right? In a Bible study, I think people need to be able to share together. And then there's some Bible studies where you go to and, it's just like 1 or 2 people talking too much, probably because they have interesting experiences, or they probably read the Bible more than the rest. That is not a Bible study. A Bible study needs to be able to to capsulate, to capture everybody. Again, that's the problem. Everybody. Yeah? Na hizo ndio vitu zinafanya watu wanashindwa understand Bible sayingine. So you say this and you're meaning this, and kumbe you say God, and somebody's feel like God is a city, God is God anyway. So how do you conduct small Bible studies? That's the conversation for today. And the Bible is very explicit when it comes to our our responsibility in studying the Bible, understanding it and applying it. But for today, we want to look at the whole space of how do I handle the Bible study moment. So I've gotten these 5-10 people, and they're there, and I need to answer the question, how do I lead them through for this hour or this hour and a half so that we have a meaningful conversation? All right, so that's our conversation for today. And to take us through, kama kawaida, niko na mlami kutoka America hapo, anaitwa Matthew Elmo.
How are you? Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Good one. Yes, kuna apostle. Pastor Justus.
Pastor Justus is doing well. Thank you, Mavo, for having me.
And of course, we have Edgar right there.
Hello.
Yes. Deacon, you're keeping well?
Yeah, I'm well.
Kabisa?
Good to be here.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. When was the first time you guys were involved in a Bible study? This is very random. Don't take like 2 minutes. In a Bible study that you felt it was more of a sermon than a Bible study. Have you ever been in such? The Bible study leader talked for 40 minutes and it was a 45 minutes Bible study.
I would say that's most Bible studies I've been in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one I remember in high school that was really good.
Right.
There was a lady who led it, and she would always buy really nice chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it was the high school, so we were ever hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one I remember I really, really loved.
Right.
That was great.
It was a good Bible study.
Sana.
All right. Is it because of the things that were cooked or because of confusion that were cooked?
It was all of it.
All right.
All of it.
Fantastic.
But especially the chicken wings.
The chicken wings. All right. The chicken wings. Yeah, the things that attract people to a Bible study. Okay. Justus, can you picture any Bible study that really rocked your soul when you were growing up?
I think growing up, my background, we did not have so much of Bible study in terms of small groups, unless now within the Christian Union meetings. But in church, we used to have like Sunday 2 services. We have a Bible study whereby, again, it's a pastor just teaching. But not really in terms of discussions.
Okay.
But at least in high school, that's where we used to have some small groups, which were really quite nice.
All right.
Guided by the KSCF materials.
Okay. Interesting. KSCF, Matthew, means Kenya Students Christian Fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Edgar, any outstanding Bible study back in the day when you were growing up? I know you're all old right now, and I know it might be hard for you to remember some things, but try to bring it.
I'd echo Justus's statement. Where I came from, it was not exactly there was a service called a Bible study service.
Right.
But it was all preaching.
It was preaching.
Praise and worship preaching.
And then you go for another service that is praise and worship and preaching.
Yeah. The only time I got time for Bible study was as Justus again has said, during high school and then during university.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, and honestly, and you guys will agree with me that there are many churches where Bible study is not necessarily Bible study. And even in many Bible study tagged groups, they're not Bible study. So that you find the person who did the study really is the person who is leading. The rest did not do the study. So honestly, you cannot say that's a Bible study. That's a preaching. I don't know. That's my thinking. Again, it's not cast on stone. This is not 10 Commandments. So I think if it's a Bible study, everybody should be able to engage and share. And that is why we need to understand and discuss today. How do I conduct a small group Bible study fellowship? Now, one of the things that I enjoyed for me growing up, there are those ones. But then I think several years back, I joined and had the privilege of leading in a BSF class. And so that was really nice. I enjoyed the way the study was happening. You all have a material, you go and study through the week. You come and share what you've studied in the course of the week. And I became a leader at some point. And the good thing was I was not talking. My role was to guide conversations, everybody sharing until time lapses. Then you go back to the hall where you get the teaching leader who is going to give a doctrinal talk. Like, okay, so this is what we're discussing this week. This is the crux of it, Now, one of the thing that has been exciting, and we're going to get into that, that's eventually, I applied that in the places where I serve. In Rejoice, that's what we do. I mean, if you come for our fellowships, we have, the Bible said we all come together, we discuss, and then at the tail end of it, somebody shares a doctrinal talk. And I think that one is so that everybody gets to share something as you do the summaries. I think that's a good thing and brings me right to the very heart of what we are going to be talking about today. How do I handle a Bible study? So let's assume you have those 5, 3, 4 people chilling around, or 10 or 12, and they're sitting there, and you already have, you're thinking, okay, I want to start a Bible study. The Lord has fired me up. I need to do this. So these gentlemen are going to help us to at least appreciate how to approach the Bible study moment. And so I'll start with Bwana Edgar Mwenyewe. What is number one thing that I need to keep in mind and when I'm thinking about starting a Bible study? I'm thinking about these girls, if I'm a girl, I'm thinking about these guys, I'm thinking about this group of whoever. What is it? What's the first thing that I need to keep in mind?
The group, or essentially find the people. The group that you want. Why are you wanting to start this Bible study? Is it an evangelistic effort? Are you wanting to engage people in the gospel who would otherwise not have been engaged with the gospel in some sense? Or are you trying other examples like I've come to appreciate is, are you trying to help someone navigate through certain challenges in life?
Okay.
And so one of the ways that you get to do that is through a Bible study where you can engage them in conversation. They can say what they are thinking about that text. Is it boys or girls? Are you trying to impact the boys around you, the teenagers, even age groups work here because there are certain, like teenagers will have certain questions like, who is God how does God do 1, 2, 3? How can this happen when God is there? Such questions, how do you answer that? Well, by creating a Bible study, you have a unique set of people that you can engage with God's word and converse around making sense of these things.
So are you saying, we don't just get any random people when if you want to have an objective Bible study, you're saying that we need to be very keen on who we are approaching because there could be different needs.
Yes, you try to assess. I'll get even to that, but we'll try to assess various needs that the people may have, and try to answer them through that Bible study.
Right. So that it's not just another random church setting for all and Sunday. Now, I think for the rest of us, maybe you can chime in. At these values sometimes in breaking down the group in very nitty-gritty, to be in a very nitty-gritty way, so that I'm dealing with class 6 and 7s alone. I'm dealing with in that group of Bible study, I'm dealing with candidates alone. They could be boys and girls smashed, but this is the what is the value of that? As Edgar said, find the people so that we're not just running after everybody. No, amesema kunaweza kuwa evangelistic, so that means you're reaching out to people who are not born again.
Yeah.
All right, and so maybe you're reaching out to people who want to be leaders.
One thing I remember, I like to do is when I'm dealing with like high school students, specifically, I don't like having boys and girls in the same group. Reason is being like, for example, I've had a group where it's like all guys, and there's like some good conversation. There can be a bit more vulnerable conversation. And then now, you bring one girl into that group, and now the guys, they don't say much at all. Especially they're not going to say something that they're not going to say, hey, I'm broke, I need a job. They're not going to say things that are more vulnerable to them sometimes because they want to look strong, I guess, a little more capable, or especially the more good looking the girl is in their eyes, the less that they might speak. So those are some things, or they'll say something silly just to try to make the girl laugh or whatever. So I like to keep them separate, boys and girls, in that sense. And also, a class 8 student doesn't make sense to be with like a form 4. They're in different kind of levels and different things that they're going to think about and talk about.
Right.
So those are things now that I want to separate their ages, separate also, their genders.
Right. I think there's value in us agreeing that not everyone is supposed to be part of your small group. You cannot reach out to everybody. Kindly, at least let's appreciate. Even Jesus Christ, when he wanted to roll out with some dudes and some people, he narrowed down on how many? 12, right? You will not reach out to everybody by yourself. I think that's one thing that Edgar's trying to tell us. Find the people. So if you're there sitting there thinking, okay, so how can I engage? How can I start this Bible study? You're saying number one thing is find the people. Know who do you want to reach out to? Know your group, know the target group that you want to get and their needs, blah blah. At least that would be the first thing. Pray about it and find somebody or somebodies or people that you really need to reach out to. Otherwise, if you mix it up sometimes, then you end up not achieving your main goal. Jansos, what is another thing that we need to, let me get back now to you.
Another thing to consider, we can talk about establishing some common ground. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quite strong.
I happen to be deep at this moment.
Deep.
Ndio.
We understand a lot of
ni voice ya depth.
Yeah, ni voice ya depth.
Hata mimi nitatoka kama hiyo acha.
Deep, yeah, so yeah, so it's good to establish some common grounds in terms of, what are some of the rules that are going to guide, some guidelines that are going to help in this conversation.
Rules in a Bible study.
Yes, it is critical because otherwise everybody will just be, you come anytime you want.
Okay.
So anybody can just be, if there is no one offering that guidance,
right,
then anybody can just be waking up and giving some instructions. Again, it's good to agree what is really the goal of the Bible study.
Right.
Are we just focusing on a book? Are we focusing on going through a Bible plan?
Okay.
What do we really want to achieve at the end?
All right.
I think that is important so that it helps. It gives you something to look forward to.
Okay.
That, wow, by the end of this, we'll have gone through the New Testament, we'll have gone through the Old Testament. I think that is important. Again, some of the other things good to agree on some of the things that are quite critical. Like, for example, the meeting place. Where shall we be meeting?
Okay.
That is important.
Right.
Sometimes there are people who want to meet, just to be moving around each other's homes.
As the Spirit
and then
leads.
you realize that one person is able to buy a cup of tea and another home they are not able to provide, then that becomes a challenge.
Well, it really becomes a challenge, because this other person probably feels pressured and you start comparing yourselves to.
Or you're visited and then they do some nyama choma. And for you are not able to provide that. Then again, in terms of even the Bible version to use, I think it is important. You have got quite a number of different versions. You can agree if you want to use all the versions for you just to have a feel of, what are different people, speaking about this specific matter.
Right.
I think that is okay. But again, you can agree on a specific version. There is the issues to do with the frequency of the meeting. How often are we going to meet? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? By the time we are meeting, what should everybody, is expected? Either you are expected to have gone through the book,
right,
or a chapter that you'll be discussing in the next meeting. I think having such expectations is important in terms of how members ought to conduct themselves during the Bible study. I think that's very important because you might find some other people, looking down on others, using some demeaning language. Some
using their phones,
debate.
Receiving phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. Receiving phone calls.
Right.
You are in here, they are not settled.
Right.
So I think that is quite very important. So for me, I think there is quite a number of things in terms of us establishing some common grounds that we are going to operate with, in terms of even how long are we going to conduct our Bible study.
Right.
I think all this is important so that if you have other meetings, other engagements, you are well settled that by this time, you know, I'll have achieved this. So I think as people come together, who will be leading, you know, in the next conversation, if you have one individual's guiding, it's okay. If you have a different individuals who will be guiding different sessions, I think it's good to think about all these things at the beginning before you start.
Fantastic. And so you're basically saying common ground is important. We all need to know several things. I like that you are saying even some things like the version of a Bible. I would even say, like, are we agreeing that in this Bible study we are going to be coming with electronic Bibles or physical Bibles? Are we coming with I think those are important things. Those are crucial things for us to understand. Why? Because I think eventually you realize that people come there with different notions and different understandings. And I think for somebody who is thinking about starting a Bible study and in a very busy city, you're in Nairobi or wherever, Kampala, wherever you are. I mean, people are. If it's an online one, for example, does that still also apply? Just as these common grounds, common rules, especially things that nowadays people do a lot of online Bible studies.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of online. We are also having some online Bible study in church. I think for me it is still very important to have those ground rules.
Right.
Because again, it becomes difficult to govern without any agreement.
Okay. All right.
What we are really doing. So I think whether online, physical, and I think that's the beauty that we are dealing with a generation, like now Kuza is an online ministry platform. So I think it's quite a beautiful thing, the age and era that you are doing ministry, even if you have high school, primary school friends, that you used to be together.
Okay. All right.
It's possible to hold each other accountable and be able to grow together, even regardless of where someone is. So
fantastic. All right. Rolling out. I think we are basically saying if you're there and you're struggling to establish a Bible study and you want something meaningful, one, we are saying you need to pray about and find the people that you really want to reach out to. Who are they? Who is your target? All right. Who's your audience? You need to narrow down on that and find them. Secondly, once you've done that, before you start the Bible study, you need to agree, put some ground rules. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to be. We are going to be meeting at this place at this point in time, and we're going to take 1 hour or 2 hours and stick to it. And we are going to be using this version of the Bible. And we are going to be, and you help them and say, because structure is important. What we are, as the Spirit leads. www.kuzapp.com is what you want to tune into when you go to your phone. Nitakuja hapa watu are the Spirit leads, but you need to visit www.kuzapp.com for you to get a lot of information that is going to be helpful for your soul. Yes, helpful for your soul. Blogs, podcasts, other video recordings that you can get there. Teachings la Uliza, there's a platform there. You can get one called Soma. Get all these things, and they're going to help you to grow in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Yes, fantastic. Secondly, number two is, and I keep on saying this, and you need to check out the top right corner of the Kuza website, www.kuzapp.com. Yes, there's a Receive Christ button right there. Why is that for you? That's important because there's a nice message right there, video, with the gospel, very basic, broken down explanation of what the gospel is. Now, if you've been struggling to share with somebody what the gospel is all about, blah, 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 and you don't even know how to start, why don't you even know how to start? But if that's a struggle, then you can check out the video, and it's going to be nice. Copy it, paste it, send it somewhere, let people see it, let somebody know it, and that is going to be a good thing. Finally, YouTube, yes, get there. YouTube, Instagram, follow. YouTube, follow, like, hit it kabisa, and that's going to be a good thing. And make sure that people know that you're listening and watching and tuning in as often as you can. If you're a Kenyan and you're traversing this city, check out some radio stations that are going to give you a lot of information that we do. Yes, fantastic. So www.kuzapp.com, hapo ndio mahali ambapo unapaswa kukua, na tunashukuru sana kabisa. Now, number 3, I think we've discussed. So we said, find the people, right? Find the people. You're not leading pets in Bible study. Can you lead pets in Bible study? You're not leading pets in Bible study. So find the right people. Okay. Secondly, find the right places and blah, blah, blah. Put common rules. That's what you're saying. Common grounds. Let people know what they expect. Thirdly, Edgar.
You kind of assess their spiritual needs. You kind of ties into my first, the find the people point.
Okay.
As I said, even as I began, it might be an evangelistic need. That's why you want to reach out to someone. So you need to have a vision. How am I going to direct this Bible study in a way where the gospel is central and clear for them each and every time we meet.
Are you saying that you actually can have a Bible study with people who are not born again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's not only it's not only non-born again people. You have to have other Christians around you. But yes, it's possible to have a Bible study with and regenerate people, or not Christians, unbelievers.
Like say I have like 3 friends of mine and they're not born again, and I know they're living just here their own kind of life. So I can actually curate. I can actually come up with an opportunity to have a study with them, and
because it's a gospel evangelistic.
Okay.
Yeah, you want them to come to understand the gospel, to know the truths of what Christ came and did.
Okay.
And
Right.
one of the ways you do that is through a Bible study, because when you do that, again, as you said, they'll engage you with questions. They'll want to understand who is this Christ? What did he do?
Right.
And so that's a spiritual need. The spiritual need at the moment is they need the gospel. And so you come up with that and try to answer that need. Or maybe it's someone going through something, or a member of a church. You want maybe having some theological questions that you don't know how to answer.
Right.
You want to seek to help them through scripture to find answers to their theological questions.
Okay.
Or it's just general life questions. How do I live out my life as a teenager? How do I live out my life as someone heading to university or leaving university?
Right.
You can come up, as you said, Form 4 leavers, you can come up with a Bible study for them to help them navigate the world they are entering into. Just finding spiritual needs that need to be met through that Bible study, and finding maybe a relevant book or relevant scriptures to help answer those questions.
Right.
I was thinking,
Yes.
even for families, you could have your relatives who are not born again, brothers, sisters, but at the home you have established a devotional moment. So in terms of unbelievers, I think for me it's possible to have a Bible study, even in a family setup. Not all who are born again, you could even be the only one, but you decide, let us have some family time. Yeah.
Right. So we're saying it's important to establish where these people are in their journey of faith. So if they are believers, how strong are they, quote unquote? I'm not so sure how to break that down, but how strong are they, or are they just starters? Are they getting at something? So do they have a desire for some serious theological arguments that are probably going on, and we are going to be discussing this particular one. So you can pretty much, we're saying we can start a Bible study based off many things, all right? But we need to assess the spiritual needs of the people. Now, are there things that we can use to, I know there are many tools that you can do, the spiritual gifts tests, things like that. I think it's also important just to mention that there are things, I think that there's a way that there are some assessments. They are not foolproof, right? They're not like the thing, but I think there's some assessments that you can do even online, for just gauging. They ask you random questions just to see, okay, how often you read the Bible, for instance. When you read the Bible, do you do this, just to help you gauge where you are. But as it's saying, assess the spiritual need of the people. So we are saying, number one, find the people. After you find the people, you don't just go around and say, okay, church, I'm starting a Bible study tomorrow, sign up. No. Who do I want to reach out to? Again, you are not the Lord Christ. You will not reach to everybody. Sawa. He is reaching out to everybody through his spirit. Wewe utakuwa focused mahali pamoja. So you just relax that you will not save the world. Forget about Captain America. So you will only reach out to a few people. So find who are they, reach out to them. Check. Then secondly, we are saying that you need to establish common grounds. Help them to understand what we're going to be doing. This is who we are. This is what we're going to be doing. This is where we're going to be meeting. This is how long it's going to be happening. And this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're going to be studying as a book or whatever it is, a book of the Bible or a certain study material that you've come up with, etc., etc. Thirdly, we are saying you need to assess the spiritual need. Where are these people? And, how can I reach out to them best? So that you don't give as it were, bones to toddlers, all right, so that you're able to grow with people. Hata watoto wadogo wanzangi kula nyama, wananyonya kwanza, alafu kisha kunyonya wanaanza kula vitu soft kama mokimo, alafu wakimaliza kukima wanaanza kukula ngima. Hapo nimerhyme by the way, right? Yeah, okay, it's fine. assess their spiritual need. Mudhungu, tuhahari. What is the other thing that we need to do as we think about starting a Bible study?
So the other thing is to select a study material.
Select a study material.
Yeah. So select a study material in the sense of, are we doing a topical study? Are we doing a book of the Bible? Is there like some pre-made thing that we're going to do and discuss? I've known people even to listen to the Kuza podcast, and then now they just meet together and discuss it.
Right.
So there's just different things you can do. But some other things is like, I would say to kind of put some structure to, all right, we're meeting for this 1 hour, this 1.5 hours. What are we going to accomplish?
Right.
It's good to start, have some prayer. You can sing a song or sing a hymn.
Right.
And then now let people now kind of talk and engage a little bit. Because if you just come in and like we go straight to the study and don't let people kind of just talk, just kind of hang out, talk about their week, etc., I think they're going to find time to do it anyway. So just interrupt or just take you down tangents and stuff. That's been my experience.
Right.
So let them have times to talk. Also, too, as they're kind of talking, discussing, like, hey, I've seen this in the scripture. I've seen this. Make sure, because sometimes some people are just way off on what this book of the Bible, or they're taking something totally out of context. So make sure there's a time to do like a doctrinal summary, something like kind of explain this is what the kind of the core truth is right here.
Right.
The other thing I think is really important is when you come in to do a Bible study, like kind of the structure we're talking about here is have some questions that are going to be good questions. You want to have questions that are going to be some thought-provoking ones, not just some like, did you like, not yes or no answers, but they have to give an actual answer to that. So those are just some things I think just kind of I would encourage. Currently right now I'm doing a Bible study in the book of Mark with some high school boys. And we're using a method we call the Gulsa method, Gulsa, Gulsa. So you ask like 5 questions. What does this teach us about God? What does this say about us, this passage? What do you like? And then the 4th question is, how do you summarize the passage? And then the 5th is, how do we apply? So Gulsa. And it's been a good method for us to follow those 5 questions.
Right.
And now, in fact, I stopped being the leader and I say, today you're going to ask the questions. So someone else becomes the leader. Right. So I kind of like that method to now kind of give leadership to the other boys.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think that's a good thing. And as you're saying, it's important to be able at least to summarize and make sure that people know what are we really talking about. Allow people to engage in the discussions. I think one of the mistakes that we do, and I'm just coming to you to wrap it up because now wakati umetuonyesha mgongo kisogo. When you're leading a Bible study, you're not preaching. I think that's something that we need to help people understand. Yeah, as you've said, don't get caught up into how was your week, blah blah. Come on, we'll talk about that during tea. All right, so just jump into it and let people at least get moments to share in it. The other thing that I think, and Matthew, I just wanted to mention very fast on time management. This is Kenya, you're American, so I'm not very sure you're the right person to talk about this, but might as well. Time management. Bible study at 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm at 4 hours.
That's insane. So what I will say is it's important you want to have a start time and an end time, because what's going to end up happening is if people can't predict when you're going to start and you end, they become uncomfortable. They ended up now wanting to try to leave early.
Right. Or stop coming at all.
Exactly. So you want to really set that up.
Right.
Another thing I think is with time is give a time for people to kind of hang out after the Bible study.
Yeah.
Or maybe even before the Bible study.
Right.
Let them have some social interaction. So it could be like, if you're at a church, for example, have some tea available, or maybe some mandazi, right? Whatever it is.
Some of it's Wazungu.
Vitu za wazungu.
Yeah,
I already said chicken wings, right?
Okay.
Have some chicken wings, stuff like that. So those are really important times. I think I've noticed sometimes for me personally, like as I lead a Bible study as a pastor, I think I do more ministry probably after the Bible study than even during.
Right.
Because now people are coming to me saying, okay, I got this issue that's somewhat related. I don't quite know how to apply this scripture. Or I don't know if I understand this thing. Will you please help me?
Fantastic.
So those things are really important. So
Great.
the time management and the hangout time is really important.
Great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. I need to call this quits. Remember the thing that we've said as you think about starting Bible study. The interesting thing is you can actually break it down, and we've said it's all like a feast. Letter F, we're saying find the people that you need to be with. Secondly, establish letter E, common ground. A, assess their spiritual need, select a study material and go for it. That is letter S. And of course, real Kenyan problem, time management. We are talking about 6 year 7, ama 7 year 8, ama 8 year 12. Unaona? So it's keep time and help people to enjoy coming there. I think one of the best things is if you're a timekeeper, then people will appreciate coming because they know their time is well taken care of. Thanks so much, Deacon Edgar.
Karibu.
Pastor Justus and Pastor Matthew Elmo
Asante sana.
and all the sheep outside there that are listening to us. Everyone that is tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, www.kuzapp.com is where you need to dial up in your browser and make sure that you get the content going on. Until next time, for those of us who are dreaming about Bible study, I don't know, come back on the website and you'll get this content just to refresh your mind, and it's going to be important. So go ahead, start that Bible study and hit it off like nothing else. Until next time, God bless you as you feast on the word of God, yes, and as you continue to tune in to Kuza Podcast. Mpaka baadaye. Mungu akubariki sana.
Thank you for listening to the Kuza Podcast. Brought to you by kuzaapp.com, an online ministry with blogs, videos, podcasts, and a mobile app. Make sure to subscribe to get more content to help you grow spiritually.